Hey guys, Level here. Today we're going to be doing the T side of Mirage. Uh, Mirage is the third map of the big three between Dust 2, Inferno, and Mirage. Dust 2 is a map that teaches you protocol. Well, it's the foundation of the map is on protocol. If your protocol's bad, then you're gonna lose. Inferno is a map that tests your judgment and kind of decision making, but it's judgment on a deeper level. And Mirage, um, I believe the core aspect of this map is, well, one, it's map control. Like, you need mid, but it's information gathering for both sides. I think is really the core aspect. A lot of the maps, they're gonna be like, oh, you need mid control because it's a 3-lane map. You need mid, right? And you do need mid, but you can have mid without actually being in mid on this map. Like, you can, there's a concept called conditioning. On Dust 2, you can't really like fake mid control, and if you do, I don't really think it's as successful as it is on this map. So here's the thing you need to understand about Mirage. When freeze time ends and the round starts and someone says, "What's the strat, guys?" This should never be a conversation. There is no, "Tell me the strat, tell me the strat." You guys aren't calming, bro. You guys have no ideas, man. You guys aren't communicating. Like, yo, like, what are we supposed to be doing right now? Yo, listen, man. Why don't you know what you're supposed to be doing? This is Mirage. It's a very simple fucking map, okay? This is a very simple map. There should be legitimately no strategy in a single round. And that might sound crazy, level maximum, right? It's not. It's really not. You don't need strategy on this map, or even on a lot of fucking maps. I might outline a few things you can do to, like, improve your gameplay in this video, but listen, let me break it down for you. Most of your Mirage rounds, you're going to be going mid, okay? You're going to be throwing some smokes. The smokes are so you can get out mid, right? Now, why do you need to be going out mid on majority of your Mirage rounds? Well, let's think about it, right? So before we go to mid, let's just look at A main, right? When you entry frag A main, somebody has to walk out of A main, right? They have to walk out with their AK so that they can kill the guy on site, right? So you, as the entry frag, right? This is like not a job. It's just it's not your job. It's not your job to be the entry. It's just whoever has the best spawn, whoever's in front is the guy going to be creating the space. Okay? So the guy creating the space in front is creating the space so that he can take an engagement, right? So I'm taking this engagement. The player behind me is going to take the engagement after I win or lose. So if I lose, he will take the same engagement, right? If I go here and then I get traded from bottom stairs, this player will then take this engagement and shoot the guy bottom stairs. So if you apply that to the entire map of middle, right? The way you win Mirage T-side rounds is you need to take space, and then you use that space to either make an individual play or a team play. So the one outlined by A main is a team play. I'm going out to take the individual fight on site, and the player behind me is going to make the team play aspect of trading me when I die to the guy bottom stairs. So this is the team play element. You need to have proper spacing in trading, right? So that's just team play. So when you go middle, the space you're taking is top mid. Why do you need top mid? Well, on majority of your rounds, if you're going mid in, a respectable elo, there should be a smoke here, right? There should be a guy in window. This is a CT-sided smoke, right? I will explain why you need to look at smokes in bottom mid, but basically the connector player on the CT side will come here to use this smoke as space so he can peek underpass and fight top mid around new angles, right? He can also fight you from down here, right? And on top of that, you will commonly hear flashes, whether the con player flashes for himself or one of the A players flashes over connector, right? So when you hear early mid flashes that were not from your team, it probably means the CTs are trying to get aggressive in middle somewhere. If you don't see anybody top mid or, you know, trying to engage top mid, they probably went underpass, or maybe they're still in con behind the smoke, right? You don't know. So in order to figure that out, you have to go top mid, right? So you use your utility, whether it's, you know, the smokes you use to get out, you know, this one. So you're using your utility, you're smoking top mid, you're smoking window, you're throwing your entry flashes, you know, like this, to be able to go wide and fight anybody in the valley, right? And I personally don't like to smoke connector because I want there to be a gap over the smoke, actually. Now, that's not good if you're trying to, like, go cat, obviously. Like, you can smoke it, you can underhand one here. The reason I like to just leave this open is because I actually tend to molly it, either whether it's not smoked, or if I can slip one in behind the CT's smoke that he put here, that would let me know whether he's burning in connector, or, you know, how, like, it cuts off a few angles and options, right? He can't, like, go into the smoke, so he has to hold up here, right? And then I can pre-aim this and kill him. Or he can play on the box, and I can pre-aim this and kill him. Good players are going to be doing this, right? They'll be doing this, and they'll be doing that. So it's kind of harder to kill these guys. But you'll know that he's not in the smoke. So he's either, well, I mean, maybe he could be in the smoke, but he's either top con, or he's probably already fighting you. There's a less chance that he's in the smoke because he can't go into the smoke, because the molly is behind it. So unless he was already in the smoke, he can't go into it. So you're limiting options for him. Now, you can molly it, or, you know, you use your flashes and you just take the fight. The idea is that I want an entry kill, or an opening kill, we'll say an opening kill, somewhere on the map. Because you're going to be going mid majority of your rounds, right? You should be going mid. If I can kill the connector player, who's probably one of the fastest kills you can get on the map, you can peek a main, but this is really dangerous, and you're probably going to take a lot of nade damage, and it's really high risk. So you can get punished for doing something high risk, right? You can't really get a quick kill on B, and then the other quick kill is window, which most CTs are pre-aimed on this. So what you should be doing is, and then this is, like, if you're trying to fight this guy either here or like here, that's fine, and you should kind of be looking for that kill anyways because it's part of your job during the round. But let's say you don't get the kill and you're just standing here. You're not progressing the round, you're not gaining more space. If you don't have more space, you can't do anything with the space. For example, if we play a round where, you know, 2 to 3 of my teammates are down on this ramp, like waiting for a mid push, this doesn't do anything because I don't have a good angle on the guy pushing. Like, yeah, he's pushing, but it's so easy for him to get a multi-frag here because we're all standing still on a ramp, right? And we could have killed him at any point in the valley with a flashbang. That would kind of be to our advantage because he's running into a flashbang, right? As opposed to this is like, I have no way to know when he's going to peak, and I have no way to flash him consistently if he's going to be on my screen, right? So if he ever is bottom mid, like something like just a simple flashbang, he's going to be pretty much guaranteed blind. I'm going to take the space, I'm going to take the fight. So, right, you could fight window, which you should be doing, and then immediately, you should be looking for the con kill, right? And then if you get con, what you can do is you can go into con, right? And then from there, most people drop a smoke at some point like this, And that smokes top con. Now, why would you smoke top con? Well, you want to kind of cut off vision. Maybe you hear a guy on site shooting his gun, so you'll know where he is. If he's not shooting his gun, he could be like jungle here, holding the cross. Because like if you kill the connector player, other people in the vicinity of A site are generally going to play more passive because they're an anchor. So it's their job to just get 1 or 2 kills and buy time for the rotate. So if you just run here and peek connector, it's not really the smartest play. Like, it can work, right? Especially if we're going up cat, like you can catch us off guard. But if we're in connector and we are coming A and we're doing an A split, or even if we're just all coming connector, you're basically giving yourself up on a platter and not giving your team enough time to rotate, right? So that's why, like, there was usually a guy like under Balk, or he slips Tetris, or he pushes A main or something. Maybe he's sandwich, and then this guy just holds the cross, right? Or he tries to hold window. He might play in the vent, holding the vent for his B player to rotate CT, right? So by getting just a simple connector kill, you turn a lot of the, you give away a lot of the CT's options. And okay, we're in connector, we killed this guy. Now I can look for the cat peek, right? And if my team's good at taking space, they'd generally be having one guy in apps, right? Whether I'm going B to support a B split, or whether I'm going underpass to look for a CT push, right? So like, let's say, you know, they like to push. I might throw a nade down there because that cuts audio, it does damage, and the smoke blocks the push, right? So when I come down here with the nade, I'm getting pushed by the CT. He has an MP9. He flashes. I might be blind, but basically I can just shoot anywhere here, and he's already half HP from the nade. I could also flash, like counter flash, look away from his flash, turn, fight him. We're both blind. Maybe I win, right? Okay. Now that whole time I'm coming here, whether I'm getting pushed or not getting pushed, I should be listening for the cat player who does this every round, right? He comes here, he throws this. He's going catwalk. The molly was too early. You hear him fucking full sprint on the mid peak, right? And he goes here. So when you're in underpass, you can be like catwalk. You can be like one guy catwalk, right? And then peeking now, right? And the whole time you're listening to footsteps, and it's peeking now, right? And as soon as he hits this corner, you say peeking now, right? And then the 2 or 3 guys top mid are like peeking now, and then it's like he's dead now because you called the time, like you called the timing good because you made a good call out. Now, in a solo queue game, you're not always going to have that teammate. You might be able to get one guy cat out of somebody, but you're never going to get peeking now. I call peeking now, right? So like I would be calling once he hits this corner. Let's say he doesn't peek, even though I said peeking now. It still tells my team that he's like kind of here. And then let's say, like, because I'm in underpass paying attention to the round, let's say I know that he doesn't peek because my teammates didn't start shooting. I said, oh, okay, careful ladder room, right? So now we know that there's probably a guy ladder room simply because he didn't peek, right? So now my team can molly ladder, right? They molly ladder. They're going to probably double swing that at some point. Maybe this guy down here smokes con, right? And then I come up from underpass, and I could molly deep jungle, right? I could molly close window. I could re-smoke window, right? Always bounce your nades off the ceiling because it's faster. And let's say I choose not to do this, right? And I have a good feeling that that guy's in ladder room. So let's say this is the first window smoke, not my re-smoke, and it's about to fade, and I'm coming out underpass, right? So I'm going to clear connector, right? Just because you have to clear this corner, you have to be careful of this corner. Even if you have a smoke top con or in the middle somewhere, or maybe it's down here and it's the CT smoke, there's usually a gap that you can see, right? I mean, maybe not always, but like if you do this, right, you could like kind of see over it maybe. Okay, this faded, right? So I'm going to clear this. I'm gonna like, I don't give a fuck about anything else that's happening on the map. I'm coming out underpass. I knew that there was a guy catwalk. He didn't swing, so he didn't die. So what should be my job? My job should be to clear this angle. I should be clearing this angle thoroughly, right? And then when I don't see him, I can kind of just keep strafing here. Maybe if I'm really bored, I can come up on the bench. And then, like, we mollied it, right, from over here. So we mollied here. He's not here, so he has to be on this wall near the ladder. Or he was like, I'm gonna peek, but then I'm not gonna peek, and he's just playing around here, right? So at that point, then you mollied this. We have two guys swinging here. We have one guy holding con. I'm bottom mid, right? So probably the guy bottom con throws this flashbang, and then the two guys going up cat make this trade kill, right? So, and it's just really simple. That should be what's happening on most of your fucking rounds. And you're always like, there is no strategy. It's just A, mid, B, A split, B split. There's 5 strats. If you can't figure out what's happening in the round to know what your job is, then you shouldn't be thinking about the strats. You should be, like, probably watching a video like this so that you can understand the game better. Like, you should not be you shouldn't be playing the game if you don't know what's happening. I'm sorry, like, if you're freaking out over, oh, we don't have any strategy, we're not making any calls, I don't know what's happening, right? And then you mental boom and you basically just go AFK and tilt because you feel like your team's not trying to... Guys, I'm trying to talk. Like, I know how to smoke CT. It's the one smoke I know in the game. And then I'm going to throw my flashes on the wrong timing A. It's like, that's not helping anybody, bro. What I need you to do, because you don't know how to play the game, is swing a corner with a gun and fight somebody. So that way, you're making space, and then when I'm behind you, I can use the space that you're creating to make more space, right?
So, let's talk about some pistol rounds. I'm gonna try to be more aggressive in my explanations here. You might catch some angry level maximum. But pistol rounds Mirage. So, you can contact B, which means that you're going to shift around here so that the player that could be on catwalk, and on most rounds is on catwalk, does not hear your footsteps. So you can contact out until you hit around this area, and then there's no real reason to shift at this point because there could be a guy van holding, and you could shift all the way to the windows and then start running, even if you haven't necessarily made contact. You could shift all the way out, but it's kind of stupid to be shifting here because you'll just get headshot on various angles on catwalk or on the site, you know, stuff like this. So generally you're going to want to just sprint here anyways, and you could delay it to where a majority of your players are grouped up in this area so that you have very high trade frag potential. So you could do a contact B pistol. That's very standard. It's very standard for, like, people who think they're tactical. It works at okay levels at the game. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not really the most, you know, it's not the most, like, strategic, you know, insane strategy like you could come up with. It's just a strategy that works. It's fine. You can also rush B. This is fine. It causes chaos. The faster you are, the slower the rotates are, right? So Mirage is a good example where, like, if you go really fast and you get the bomb down, you probably have, like, a good, like, 8 seconds that you're going to burn off the clock before the rotations come in. So you can, like, get the bomb down and then wait, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds, and then you throw your, you know, your nade here, or you should be expecting a peek, like, on catwalk or something. So you could rush, obviously. If you are going to rush, you don't need a market window smoke, right? Because, again, it's a pistol rush. We do not need a market window smoke. Because this guy's just going to sit in the corner over here, and he's going to be really slow, and he'll probably die to the guy underpass. Because, especially, like, if you're one of those guys, Mirage is one of those maps where you cannot throw your utility early. There are some maps where you can throw it early, and it's fine. You can't do that on Mirage. This market window smoke takes for fucking ever to land. And the B player, even if he's alone, let's say if he's alone, he plays bench, right? He's just chilling back here somewhere. He'll see the smoke come over the roof, and he'll be like, oh, B smoke, right? Now, sometimes you want that if you're doing a pistol fake. This map is actually really good for at least early round fakes. But maybe I'll go into that later. if you are gonna buy any grenades on a B pistol, maybe just flashes. You'll throw them around here and you just throw them over this building. You can, I would jump throw them this way. I usually do one over the roof. Or, sorry, I usually do like one straight to blind a guy Van, and then I do one over the roof, because by the time I blinded Van, my teammate peeked here, and I do one over the roof so that he can fight on sight. And that's, I mean, that's fine. Other pistols, so I actually really enjoy taking connector on the pistol round. So if I call underpass connector, it's not something crazy extravagant. It's a, you're moving, you're always moving in one direction, right? It's always like, we're going straight up the stairs, we're going straight through TV, we're going straight, you know, down the stairs, we're going straight through underpass, we're going straight up connector, and then from this point, once you're at connector, you're going to make some contact, whether it's in mid or from the A site or jungle. So you can choose, once you've gotten to the top of con as a team, to fight jungle and go here and freeze and look for an advantage, or you can, you know, go market. That's a bit more complex, like getting to this point and freezing and then going market, or just going market after you kill a jungle guy. It's a bit more complex because your teammates are going to get stuck because they're, you know, they're stupid, right? They're going to like sit here and fight that guy. They're going to not clear under balcony or something, right, when they're going A, or half your team's going to fight off A. They're going to jump off the staircase. You don't need that. So at that point, once you get to connector, you're just looking for some space, opening kills, and maybe you come A and you clear the bomb site, and they don't expect it. You can do the same thing mid. You can go mid to connector. Actually, if you have like an instant window smoke, I don't hate doing an instant window and then going 5 catwalk. You don't need the window smoke, but it's helpful. You just fight catwalk. You know, careful of the USPS, it's very dangerous. Maybe like, I wouldn't do 2 smokes, but like, I think 1 smoke is good. So if you have a fast con smoke, or if you smoke con on the run when you get here, you fight window. There's nothing wrong with fighting window. The guy's gonna sit here. Don't be scared of mid, right? If you call, like, I call mid sometimes on my Mirage pistols, and they're like, but he has USPS. Like, but I learned the game in 2014. Like, I know USPS has more range. It's like, dude, there's 5 of you swinging this guy. He can't kill all of you. He can't. He's not Donk, okay? And even Donk, like, if there's 5 guys on his screen, and you gush him once while moving at full speed with the Glock, like, use the Glock to its advantage. You can move full speed and shoot accurately. You know what I mean? Look at how accurate those Glock shots are. They're like, I mean, that's pretty good, right? Especially if I'm spamming. Majority of the bullets landed on this sunlight line right here. Like, that's pretty good at the distance I was shooting. So 5 guys come. I mean, he's gonna take a lot of damage. He might be gush. You can even, you know what, bro? You can even sit here and crouch. You know, I don't care, bro. You can hit a counter strafe. You'll probably kill him or do damage. The con smoke's pretty good. You can go catwalk. You can also go 5 con. It's very similar to the underpass thing that I just mentioned. And normally you're going to catch an A player running the con anyways. And he'll be a free kill against 5 players. Another thing I like to do is, you know how we can contact B? Well, we can do a slower mid. So by the time you go from T-spawn to here, the timing that I like to use is when the clock hits 1:37 on the round timer. Because then you can usually go mid undetected, right? Because the B players, let's say they play 2B, they're probably passive, looking for a rush, maybe even 3B. They might boost Ninja. We get to mid, right? At 1:37, we peek out. And the peek window, it's the same thing as going mid, but the only difference is this guy's going to break the vent at the beginning of the round. He's going to peek like this. He's going to be like, well, nobody mid. And there's 2 things he can do. He can go underpass, which is a mistake. Sorry, 3 things he can do. He can go underpass, which is a mistake, and then you just go mid and go con. And then, because he's thinking it's a B hit, because there's nothing A, right? So the A players are looking A. It's like, oh, nothing A. Sometimes it's only 1A. He's back here, jump spotting. He can go underpass. He can stay mid, which is fine. It's the same thing as the previously mentioned mid rounds. Or he could, I guess he could do 4 things. Most people, like, I think the correct thing to do when you see nothing mid is probably just to go market and play for the B hold. So that's the correct thing to do, and then by that time you'll be running up con. The other thing you do, he can come jungle, and like a lot of people like to look palace, or maybe he'll re-clear A main, and basically you'll just fight that guy top con. So like, it's fine. Like, it's a good pistol. Like, you're just a fucking pussy if you're afraid of the USPS. Okay, so A rounds. I don't really like going A for various reasons. I mean, you'll know from your own games that people already struggle coming out of this staircase, and there could be a guy triple, a guy crossing, maybe a guy CT, a guy that already crossed, and you're gonna have some ass hat in the back of spawn, like, don't worry guys, I got a jungle smoke, right? And he'll be lining up some fucking smoke, and then he'll probably miss it, right? which means he's not here for the push, which means this guy gets insta-headshot, which means this guy swings to trade, and then he maybe gets the kill or some damage, and then he dies, and then the third guy is like not really there for the trade, and for some reason the CTs bought an HE grenade, and they naded ramp at the beginning of the pistol round, and your pistol round's just kind of over. So I don't really like going A. If you are going to go A on a pistol round, I used to have a strat, kind of. I think it was more, if you are going to go A with no, like, direct plan, I would prefer that we do a split with a stairs smoke. And, the guy that buys the smoke stairs, you wait for him to get here, so he can just flash over stairs. So he flashes jungle, and then this is smoked off. And then anybody here has to go wide into, like, 3 guys A main, 1 guy palace, right? Something like that. You can even... Sometimes it's okay to, if you're going A, bring out an underpass lurk. And try to have audio on where the cat player is. This is going to be a job that someone should have in majority of your rounds, where you try to get info on this cat player and see where he is, see if he's in ladder room, see if he's passive. And then when your teammates are doing all that A shit, you come here and you kill the guy stairs, or you kill the cat player. Like, if the CTs are not clearing underpass, right? So it's either the con player's job or the cat player's job, or even the window player sometimes drops down. One, you have a 1v1. Whoever clears you, you have a 1v1. So nothing wrong with that. And honestly, this cat player, let's say they did not push mid for some reason, or they're not looking underpass. This cat player's... There's a chance he doesn't clear you because he's really scared of an A hit, and then you just come in behind him. You can kill him here, or you can kill him, like, here, or you can go up closer behind when there's a guy stairs and a guy bottom stairs, and you kill both. More of an advanced concept, but that's fine. The other thing you can do on a T-side pistol round is you can go palace. Again, delayed or fast. I think fast is not bad. And I think delayed, you just have to time it good, right? You have to understand, you know, if you can get any info on the map at all, whether it's a flashbang noise or something. You have to understand if there's a CT in middle, or, like, you're going to want to know the information you need to gather is, like, is A site stacked, right? Which early round it usually is, because there's people crossing, there's the guy jungle, and there's the 1 or 2 A players. You don't know what their setup is because it's a new game every time you play, because it's a random amount of players. It's random players every time you queue a premier match. So... Palace is kind of like, like, only do it if you're feeling it. I think B and mid
are pretty good. So let's talk early round. I think early rounds, like, you can buy a Galil, you can buy a MAC-10. I think it's a complete waste to buy an AK-47 on this map. And here's why. Okay, I bought an AK second round. I'm going A main. I got nade stacked. They killed me. They pushed me with a 5-7. They pushed. I was playing passive, looking for this pick for some reason. I don't know why I'm going for this pick against pistols when the guy could have a deagle, right? And he has a deagle, and he just comes up, and oh, that's an AK down. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go mid. All right, and oh, he's dead. All right. Okay. Let's look for the guy Palace. Okay. Oh, he's dead. Okay, so deagles really fuck the T side up on this map, and if their whole team's pushing ramp, there's no reason to, like, sit here and hold it, right? Maybe you kill all of them. Cool, I don't care. Okay. Oh my God, I'm getting pushed. I'm gonna run away. Okay, I'm running away, and okay, they pushed me. They swung me 3. 1 guy jumped up top, so there's 3 pistols looking at me. I'm dead. I lost an AK in spawn. Okay, guys, let's bring the bomb B, and they had 1 B anchor. And we rushed the plant because we were scared of the A main call, because the guy that went A main called all there, but it wasn't actually all there. And then this guy, like, sat, like, I don't know, here with a 5-7 and killed 1, and then killed the second one, grabbed an AK, killed the guy apps, right? So information gathering, make sure you have your fucking numbers correct on the players that you're calling out. So if you hear or see players, make sure it is the correct number of players, because you need to clear the bomb site. So don't buy an AK-47 because there's no reason to go ramp. You can go palace, again, same thing, right? If you go fast, maybe it's not so bad if we go really fast here and we make noise. But at the end of the day, this is probably a 1v1. It's unlikely a teammate came with you. If a teammate does come with you, the CTs can still push ramp, and you guys are stuck in a corner of the map. Let's say you're alone, so this guy could peek you with a deagle, and you're dead. That's a gun gone. Or he could slip into one of the pillars, any pillar, lots of pillars, lots of corners on the map to hide on. And you could misclear it, or you could be walking up like this, right? And when you're doing this, he'll kill you on the pillar, or he'll kill you when he swings. Let's say you start shifting closer, he swings you with a 5-7, you lose. Let's say you go palace and he doesn't swing you. Well, you could die to a deagle over there, or maybe maybe the CTs force spot a scout. All right, cool, you're dead, or you're 30 health from the scout. And then we peek stairs and we died at deagle, and then we peek here and we died at 5-7. So probably just don't do that on your gun rounds. My advice. So second round, what should you do if you're not gonna go A? Well, you should go mid. It's just mathematically probably better. I wouldn't. You can smoke window if you want, and then try to work catwalk. The CTs could push you middle. They could force buy MP9s also, so be careful, right? One guy's gonna come here, he's gonna throw a grenade, and they're gonna push. They might push 3 guys here. Some of them might have 5-7s, MP9s, maybe a guy over there with a deagle or a scout. You just have to wait for the util, maybe throw counter util, like if you have a teammate throwing good flashes, you know. I think this is a much higher play to throw flashes. Sorry, not that flash. Through any variation of like the barrel flash, that flash up there, a valley flash, and then just at least bring some numbers down and play with your team. I wouldn't buy an AK. I think I mentioned in the Dust 2 video that buying the Galil second round is very good. Why is it good? Because it shoots really fucking fast and it hits really fucking hard. So when you have lots of people with pistols in front of you, you can outshoot them with the speed of your bullets, right? The fire rate. And you can also play range, right? So catwalk, I have no problem fighting a guy catwalk swinging me with, you know, a P250 when I have a Galil, because the Galil's just so good of a rifle. It's just a great weapon. It's got 35 bullets as opposed to 30 or 25, or what else do we buy on this fucking half? It's got 35 bullets, guys. 30 fucking 5 bullets. Yeah, you should be able to mop up a mid push with a Galil swing and teammates to fight with you. Okay, and then the other thing you could do is you can buy Mac 10, right? So Mac 10. Okay, we have Mac 10, we do a B rush. So I come here, we're rushing. If you jump right here, you can spot over underpass, so you'll know if they're pushing underpass. CTs love to push underpass on this map. So you should, you know, just do a little spot, nothing wrong with that. I encourage everyone watching this video to increase the volume of their game, because you should be able to hear this guy running. You'll hear, you know, a step somewhere, and you'll be like, oh, there's a guy underpass. So then your whole team could just be like, all right, let's wait for him, or we can peek him like this. I didn't mean to fall, but you can jump on this and hold. This is a decent angle. If you hear him, don't run at him. He wants you to run down. Just hold up here. Nothing wrong with that. You could get flashed, so maybe play here, wait for the flash noise, and then swing out. Or you could wait for the flash noise and don't swing and let him run up the stairs and then peek him with a Mac 10. If we're rushing, so these are the good flashes. The easiest way to line it up is to get into this corner and look at the top and then run through. It's the top of this, you know, kind of corner of the wall. The easiest way to do it is to get into the corner. You can do it running in, but you have to turn while coming through the door and do that, and it works fine. It works fine. So I would practice running here and doing a rush flash. Once you do that flash, you can do this flash. Oh, okay, now you have 2 flashes, and then you jump out of the window and you go towards this, right? You can clear arch, or you can ignore arch and you can clear sight. Kind of up to you. Make that judgment call based off what they're doing. I think on the second round, most of the pistols are going to be around these boxes. Maybe jail, maybe van, maybe ninja. Make sure you clear this angle back here on this box because people like to do this, or hold here, and make sure you clear this pillar. So we do those rush flashes, right? 1, 2, jump through the window, look this way, clear it, right? And as long as, it doesn't really matter if you die, it doesn't matter how sloppy it was, as long as you get out and you get to like here without being shot, is a really high chance you're going to be getting a multi-kill this round. You can even go quickly into market and just, you know, after you clear everything, obviously, quickly into market and shut down the rotations. As long as you get to this point, you should have generated enough space for another Mac 10 player to get vision on people and then push those people. Or let's say you had a guy with a Galil and you're fighting, well, he'll swing here with the Galil and he should be able to trade you. No reason to do anything else, really. It's just go mid or push B. If they stack B, just win. You could do mid smokes. Con window, you can take catwalk. I don't really like this because most of the time your teammates are going to fuck up the pacing really badly. And they're going to get stuck in areas of the map where they should not be stuck. So this is going to fade. And let's say, like, for whatever reason, we didn't push cat fast enough. They're going to have lots of angles on site to stop us. They're going to re-peek window after that fades. The cat player is going to play close. Maybe he could push. All sorts of things, right? So sometimes you'll be like, let's go mid, guys, on second round. And then some dumbass will throw a smoke like this. Hey, guys, I know a really good smoke, right? And then, okay, he missed, but that was just a guess. There's smokes that land like here on catwalk that you'll see people throw. And this isn't good because, well, I can't kill anybody window from here. And I have to peek con, but they could be hiding. And then what you're doing is allowing this catwalk player to come around the smoke and kind of kill somebody really quickly and run away. Or you're allowing him to get into ladder room for free, which could be kind of problematic, especially if we have a guy underpass and he's not expecting this peak. It's not let me put it this way, like, maybe it's not bad, right? Like, maybe it's good to smoke both of those things so the CTs don't know what's happening, but you're not going to get anywhere in the round, right? Like, you'll gain some focus towards mid, maybe, but they're not going to retake it because they're not going to run through smokes. So it's a lot better to, like, smoke window, you know, if you can, molly deep deep cat, like if you're chair, right? And you go here, right? And you clear that. And then you molly this for your teammate. I mean, it's a little deep, but like anybody close here on cat should be able to like clear this soft, right? And then get into ladder room, right? Let's say you're down here. You could probably learn a lineup. Sorry, I missed that. I didn't mean to throw it. You can just come in between these electrical boxes and then left click one below this lamp. And then, like, let's say he burns, right? Oh my god. Let's say he burns. I'm catwalk, right? I'm holding con, he burns, I turn around, he pushes me, I kill him. Or he runs away, I peek behind the molly. So it's about like little setups that you can do with your teammates. Or be like, I'm Mollying cat, or you could be like, I'm flashing cat, right? And then, right, so in between this, up here, what the fuck is that? There's wires on the building. You just aim a flash at the wires. And your teammate on catwalk. Right, and I mean, maybe throw it a little bit farther. Maybe like W throw it from here.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
That's a little far.
Flashbang.
No, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's a good distance. No, it's not that great. It'll blind a guy close. So, I mean, it's just like little things. Let's say we're peeking window. Maybe sometimes before is if you have one or two guys running up the ramp and you're like third spawn, there's a black line here that you can jump throw a flash. And that will bounce off of this wall and it will blind people like coming out connector, obviously. And if you throw it correctly, it should blind window also. Maybe like, I mean, yeah, this guy's pretty blind, right? So this flash is really good if you have an opper peeking window or if you're going to double swing with AKs. And when I say double swing, I don't mean like, right? Because then he's not blind anymore, right? So when I say double swing with the flash, like you need to go like this, right? The flash will pop. You might be blind. If you throw it at the correct timing, you shouldn't be blind, right? Because it'll be like pop, right? Well, here, I'll do it, right? So here, I'll be like, you probably want to throw it when the guy's like right here. He's not blind. He had a perfect peek. The window player's blind. He got out far enough for his second player to attempt a trade. And now he's taking, the first guy is taking mid space. And then you guys can scale, right? So with just a simple flashbang, you know, you can go before the window smoke. When you go before the window smoke, you can immediately go catwalk and you can fight this. Or you can drop a smoke here. You know, once that's over, you can go here. I wouldn't take out a molly here, right? Like, doing this is, like, kind of stupid. Player could be pushed, so you should maybe try to grab ladder, right? Like this. And then, like, let's say you're third or fourth guy out, you have a flashbang. You can come bottom con, right? Because usually you're going to have a guy close con, at least one. Your whole team shouldn't be here. There should not be 3 people in the valley on just, like, a standard mid control. Unless we're doing, like, an A split, right? And, you know, we have 2 guys here, 1 guy ladder, right? It should really just be like 1, maybe 2 if you're trying to go into con. And it's like the 1 guy that comes down here can throw a flash up this way.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
And then the ladder room guy can be like, he can either fight jungle, right? Which, you know, window's going to be smoked. So peeking over the smoke, you could die, right? And then if you try to do this and then the smoke's fading and like you're clearing underneath yourself, like you could get peeked, right? So if you're in ladder, like it's just better to live and deny ladder to the enemy cat player, right? But like let's say the flash comes in, you can peek off the flash, right? And just, I don't want to say this is like strategy or like game breaking. It's just team play. Like you just need to learn how to play off of people that are in the positions, right? Like this position, bottom mid. What should I be doing? Well, I can throw a lurk smoke top con. I can lurk through that. It was a little shallow, so I'm probably not going to push it, but I can if I want to. Like that's not really, it's not great, but like you could definitely slip in here and kind of peek sight, you know. I wouldn't do it, but It'll give you a little bit of space to slip in here, maybe hide here for a second, listen for some rotations, hear the market player, hear the jungle players running market because they think it's a cat push. And like before I do that, like I just throw this flashbang for my teammate that's in ladder, and then I smoke this, and then I like grab some connector control, right? So now we can look for a pick like on site or close stairs once the smoke fades, or I can listen for rotations and give my team information. Like, yes, I'm aggressively taking connector, but I'm going to play connector passively. I'm going to listen for information. I'm going to relay that information. So once I see where there's a gap, right, where it's like, I heard the opera rotate, CT, whatever, right? And it's like, well, I don't really want to go up con into the opera, and there's probably a guy that pushed A main, and he could be hard tuck Tetris, or he could be under balk or something, and just the crossfire of like CT and this guy top balk is not really pleasant. Maybe he pushed into palace, he's going to be really hard to find. Could drop like another smoke here and like go market, right? Or we could go underpass, right? Like if we think it's an A stack, or I won't even say stack. I don't even want to use these phrases because people just like, but A was stacked, but A was stacked. Like, let's just say the CTs have a really strong possession of top con, right? Whether it's one player or 0 players, like let's just say like going there would result in many T deaths. Maybe like find another way, or have one guy hide connector and then just rotate bomb through A main, so you can see if the palace player pushed T spawn, the A main player pushed T spawn, then you go A main, right? You clear all this as a 2-man, so you have trade potential, and then when you swing A main and you swing connector, you can quickly grab space, you know, towards this player that's in CT. Like, CT is a very safe location, but if he has to fight A main and stairs and he's getting grenades thrown at him, he can't really kill everybody, right? So the objective is just to find the one guy that's out of place. So the one guy that would be out of place in that hypothetical round would be that A anchor that kind of disappeared, and he's like hiding in one of these corners on this direction of the map. Or you could go B, right? And then you just do an apps hit, and then you have a market window smoke to evade the opper. Or you could use the guy that's in ladder room. He'll sit here, he'll wait for mid rotations, he'll give information on what's happening in market, or if the cat player is close to him. And then you'll use that information to have a timing on walking out B, all right, or running out B, and then, you know, dropping smokes on site, or where to place the molly, right? So like, if your cat player, you know, let's say he sneaked up cat without dying to connector, right, and he saw a guy van, right, but he got here or something, right, or he got bench, and then he either hides back here, or he gets to this angle, or this angle, people will be in. He'll be like, there's one bench, right? And then because you went underpass on the correct timing, you can just molly bench, right? And then you can walk out, and then you can kill the guy running out of a molly. And then, you know, whatever, like, if my screen is, you know, the right side of my screen is on that corner, right? And then you just aim at the top of this, right? Solid CT smoke. Why do you need a solid CT smoke? Because you can't allow this guy top ticket to really play for free, right? So if he jumps up there, you need him to be fully exposed so you guys can kill him, right? If he's on this box, he can't see anything, but if he's on the top white, when you come out, somebody should be clearing top ticket, right? So we're looking bottom stairs, we're looking triple, we're looking mid site, we're looking here, you know, we're going default. And like, if anybody jumps up in the smoke, like, you should always have some peripheral vision on the top of the smoke there when you're coming out, so you can clear stuff when you walk out. And it's like, if I see any movement above the smoke, I instantly snap and I spray that guy, right? Other things you can do, right? So when your teammate gets to this point on the stairs, halfway up, and we discussed earlier in the round that we're gonna, you know, aggro peek A, right? Because the guy crossing is exposable. The guy here holds a grenade in his hand too long because we can kill him, right? The guy CT, he stands exposed, so I can easily pre-aim him and one-tap him, right? So like, in that scenario, if the enemy team's just bad, like, you could probably win the gunfight. But like, same thing, you come to this corner, you aim here, and you jump throw a flash, right? The lamp flash is cool, but the lamp flash is more of like an early round flash for if they're pushing A main. I guess this would work if you're instantly peeking. This is lamp flash. You get in the middle, you crouch, you left click a flash here. It would work, right, for someone, you know, here, but it doesn't work mid-round when someone's here. Or stairs or something, right? Or if they're tucked like here, like lamp flash isn't doing shit. But if you throw a flash like this, right? Well, it's a little bit more to the left, right? So if it's a little bit more to the left, a guy on stairs is blind, right? A guy deep jungle is blind. It doesn't come out for balcony, but like you could like, instead of just standing still, you could run throw it, right? And you got to be really careful with your timing because you don't want to blind your teammate. So if you're gonna run throw it, you need to release it when your teammate is, if you're run throwing, like I'd maybe release it a little early. So instead of the center of the staircase, do it at the bottom of the staircase, right? And then you throw, and he's taking space, right? So who's blind off of this flashbang? A guy top balk, holding here. He's kind of half blind, but not a big deal. He'll lose audio, right? So he won't have the exact footsteps of people coming out A main. Someone back default is a little blind. Again, they lose audio. It's really important. Like sometimes the flashbang, it's not always about the vision. Obviously the vision is much better, but like if they lose footsteps, when they peek this because they know it's an A hit, they might be aiming over here, but you're over here. So because they miscleared you, you should get the kill. So you just need to, and you know, you're only flashing. You are only flashing if you have someone peeking. You don't just throw flashbangs over the roof. You don't just do that. That's not something you just do, right? Because that announces that you guys are in A. You're outside of A. You only flash when your teammate is about to peek. You try not to blind him, right? If you think you're going to blind him, don't throw the flash. If you don't know if you're going to blind him, don't throw the flash. We're coming out A main, right? We're coming out, we're clearing everything, right? We have a flash pop. I don't see anything, right? I got to this point, I don't see anything. What should I do? Well, I can hold for a default swing. I wouldn't really stand still. Like, you get stuck, like, if I get to this point and I hold this, right? It's not great, but if the CT peaks, like I'll have a really good chance to kill him, right? But I don't know where the CT is. And because I stopped here, all my teammates are going to stop here. And it's like, well, that doesn't do anything, right? Because I need my teammates to be swinging with me. Because if you just stand still in A main, the CTs are coming here, right? Jungle smoke, they throw defensive smoke, and they're out. And everyone there is dead, and they're getting naded from jungle, right? Everyone's getting naded from jungle. So you can't stand here, because they're throwing counter flashes up there, they're taking space with smoke, right? So, like, yeah, sometimes you want to play here on like a contact round. Maybe we're trying to lurk in and find the A player, right? Maybe I'll find him here. Maybe sometimes it's okay to like ignore an angle, right? So like maybe you're clearing this, but you got to swing it. You got to swing it as if you're going to kill him, right? So, you know, if there's a guy right here, I have to swing or I have to crouch or something to like make sure I'm going to get this kill, because if this guy just holds like this and I don't clear him correctly, he's just going to kill me. So like if I don't like quickly, I mean, even at this point, like I'm already exposed to jungle. I might as well, when I get to this point, just start running. Right? Like it doesn't matter. We come out. say the guy plays firebox, right? Or maybe I see his leg or something, right? Maybe I don't see him. Maybe I got to this point I didn't see anybody, but like I know that the enemy team likes to stack A. You can spam firebox. You don't got to do that many bullets, but a few bullets, and if he's sitting here, you'll see blood on the wall, right? Sometimes you can eyeball a molly like that. I'm sure there's a specific lineup, but it gets top stairs and sandwich, right? So a molly like this is really good. Like I recommended not going A site on the pistol rounds, but like if you pair it with like a molly like this, it is obviously strong. I have seen this before for quite a long time, right? And it's, you know, if you go for an early A, again, I wouldn't do an early A, but if you go for an early A, like there's probably nobody sandwich, right? There could be a guy stairs, but there's probably no one sandwich. So it's really only for slower rounds. Like if it's a slower round, maybe you tried to go B or mid and now you're rotating back into A, then that's a molly that like kind of makes sense. I have literally no clue why anybody of any rank would take the bomb and decide to, one, peek on this absolutely unfavorable angle towards jungle right here, like get right next to this. And it's like, okay, you're dead to every angle on jungle. You're dead to the off angle. You're dead to deep connector when you swing. You're dead to catwalk. You're dead. I mean, you might not be dead to stairs, but you're putting the bomb at a complete risk, right? Like, I'm right now exposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 reasonable angles, right? And I have the bomb. So when you come out of spawn with the bomb, here's what you're going to do. You're either going to drop a smoke and put it there, or you're going to come default, and then obviously because I know how to play the game, I'm going to hold your CT while you plant the bomb. You need to don't plant here, because that makes it harder for me to defend you. You plant as far in this wedge as you can, so that this player has to swing as wide as he can. And when he does that, he might misclear me firebox, or I'll kill him by the time he gets, you know, here, and then he'll be shooting you, but he'll be dead. So I have like 3 different full body positions to kill that guy before he can kill you. Okay, my OBS kind of fucked up the recording, so I'm just gonna do a little voiceover. It might be a little out of sync. I'm basically just gonna go over all of the grenades on Mirage. Maybe I missed the top mid smoke. If you have this spawn, you're going to aim at the corner of this building and W jump throw. If you have this spawn, you're going to aim at the bottom of this white line and a W jump throw. You can even aim a little lower. If you have this spawn, it's somewhere in the middle of this triangle on the angle, but I mean, you don't have to throw that one really. If you have this spawn, it's the little design on the railing next to the window. So it's not the one on the window, but it's the one to the left of it. So it's like this little kind of circular design on the left side. I believe it's also a W jump throw. If you have this spawn, it's somewhere in the middle of this white thing. I miss it here in the video. So there's a window, and then there's like a bent part, and you're aiming between the black marks and the window. Again, like, you don't really need to know it. I miss this because it's like, I mean, I don't throw this, right? Actually, that landed underpass. I didn't even realize that when I was recording. But yeah, I mean, obviously it missed. I was confused here. I didn't have no clip.
Let us go.
If you don't know an insta mid smoke, insta window, you just come in front of the trash can here. You aim at the top of the black bar. There's a window smoke you can do on the left there. It's kind of trash. So you aim in the corner of this black bar, and then you crouch, and then you move forward until you hit the bottom of the black bar. While crouching, obviously, that hits in window. It's really nice. It's a lot harder to be blocked than the one that's thrown on the left. This is my connector smoke now. I used to throw one that was on the left-hand side, and I just don't really like that one anymore. So I throw this one on the right, and I was trying to describe, you know, oh, is it at the top of this line or is it in the middle? So at the top, it misses here, just barely. So I decided that I was going to throw it in the middle of this bar on the carpet. The first bar going up on the right side, like right in the middle, and bang, like this is a clean connector smoke. There's also a connector smoke here. There's a rug. It's got some pattern on it on the bottom. It's the fourth one over to the right. You're going to aim at the top, and it's a jump throw. And this one can miss commonly, where it lands kind of on the first step as opposed to the second step. And it needs to be on the second step so there's no gap. So if you're going to throw a con smoke, like, you're probably better off throwing the one at the trash can, just because it's a little bit more consistent. If you're top mid, this is how you re-smoke window. You're going to aim at the center of the antenna, and you're going to run forward off of the back wall. You can smoke window. You can also, it's the same thing for the molly, if you want a molly window. This is a cat smoke right here. You crouch and you left-click throw on the cardboard box top. Lands catwalk if you're trying to go con. I mean, it's deep enough where the cat player shouldn't be able to push, so, I mean, it's not like the worst smoke in the world. This is a smoke that lands to cover ticket. You know, in higher elo games, the opper or a rifle player will be top ticket holding con, so there's two ways you can look at this. There's like a thin black line, and basically there's a slightly thicker one that's above it. So you just go to the top left of the thick one, or depending on your graphic settings, there's like a dark V on the wood in front of you. You kind of just aim like a little bit above. So I was showing that this misses if you throw it at like this random dot. I was showing a couple misses because, like, just for emphasis, like, it has to be like really accurate. So it's right here, very hard to see. It's like a very situational smoke. That's, you know, if you're doing some kind of A split, like, it's a little useful, I guess, or if you know they have an opera that plays ticket, just try to commit that to memory. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just stupid marks on a barrel. So this is a CT smoke. This is like the CT smoke you should have. I think it's better than all other CT smokes because it really covers this box well, and it forces the ticket player to go all the way up. It's just helpful sometimes to have a CT smoke, but other times you're going to want to take CT instead of smoking it off. So right here I'm going to be throwing, you can smoke CT from here, but it's not as good. This is a lurk smoke. So you use the new crosshair feature and you get to -2 at the top of this scaffolding. You place the -2 bar right at the top, and then you jump throw. I'm on 4.3. I don't know if it's different on other resolutions. I don't think it is. And what this does is it allows you to lurk out and create some angles for yourself to fight towards ticket, stairs, and you can climb down the ladder and fight towards jungle. With this specific smoke, like, yeah, you can kind of maybe be able to see this guy top balcony. I'm talking about some palace pre-aims here, and I did it wrong, and I'm like, oh, like, I'm an idiot, right? So it's the other side of this pillar right here. You can aim at the bottom of the lamp, and then in the corner is the guy. These are some mollies for balcony. So there's the bottom left of the right side of the door and the right corner. There's these two corners here. So one is just top balcony. I mean, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory. The other one is bottom balcony. And you have to be really careful with the corners because there's actually two corners. So there's one that's a bit more forward that you can throw, and this will spread to both. It's not better. It's not as good as this lineup. So the forward corner does both. The back corner does under, and now here you can aim at the floor and the back wall behind the door, and there's kind of this this gated door with a gap, and you're gonna aim in the corner behind the door where the floor and the wall meet, and you're gonna try to stick to the right side. I think I'm gonna miss here because I'm on the left side, and I go in the forward corner, and this hits only top balcony. So what you need to do is kind of maybe the same lineup or just like a little bit more to the right. Right here I go a little bit more to the right, and there's the first corner now, and then there's the forward corner. So I'm gonna go to the first corner, and it should burn both. There's a very small gap where a CT can stand here, and you know, he's kind of out of position. It's hard to take this fight when you're walking out. A guy can stand on the right side, and they can be near balcony near the palace entrance. So be very careful about like those three things, but it's basically mollied. It does push them out of position and makes them easier to kill. I fall through the map here because I'm funny like that. The reason, if you're the palace guy, you want to be mollying is because the A main guy shouldn't be mollying. He can do this, but you know, that A main guy needs to have his gun out, and you don't want to put too much pressure on your teammates to be in weird situations. So I don't know what I was pointing out here is I said you want to take CT sometimes as opposed to just smoking it off. So you want to throw a deeper CT smoke past the ticket so that you can take the staircase for the post plant. So, you know, if you're ever default, you can crouch right here. It's at this leaf on top of the palm tree on the right side and the tape. So it's this corner right here. You just left click. And it's a deep CT smoke, super, super annoying for the CTs to deal with. Okay, so right here I'm talking about this door. There's it's a door with like a gate, and there's like three things on the little gate on it. And I would encourage people just to stick to, there's like 6 different ways you can line up smokes on this door. So if you're ever in this area, I would just encourage you to stay in the middle bar, like on the right side of the door frame. Just do all your smokes from the right side of the door frame. So right above the telephone pole and out in the center of the corner of the top of the building, it's just 2 jump throws. It's jungle and stairs. That's really the most fluid way to smoke them off if you're gonna line up your smokes from there. I don't do, yeah, just the right side is just better than the center.
So I think right now I'm explaining the other lurk smoke. So I think I briefly go back to the original lurk smoke, and I explain why it's good, right? And I throw it again because I need this point to be emphasized because I kind of like missed something prior. See right there where there's like a small elevation difference in the smoke where you kind of want it to fall in that little slot in the wood. And the reason for this is because the smoke is actually moving. It's like revolving. And if you can get it placed perfectly in this little section of the wood, it will revolve better for you. And it will, the smoke will be like lower. And if the smoke is lower, the center is lower, and it'll spin faster. So I re-smoke it just to show that you can go down the ladder, and I show the ladder fight so you can look towards jungle, and you can look towards CT. you might even be able to get up on the brick or, you know, come out quickly on the left side towards CT or default or something and catch somebody off guard. So you should be able to kill somebody like maybe when it fades or when it's spinning. Now, I'll show a better version of it spinning. Is if you come out Palace, you can actually just underhand it, and it'll always hit, like, not always, but you can, like, if you're good at underhanding your grenades, you can get it into the slot perfectly, whereas from spawn, you know, sometimes it misses by a few pixels, right? So you just want to be able to get it right here is the ideal spot. I missed the first time, because, of course, you know, I'm trying to record. In the game, I usually hit it at a pretty high rate. Even if I don't, it's still a pretty good smoke.
So I'm just emphasizing that if you get it perfectly in the wood, the smoke will start to spin. So you can kind of see jungle here while it's spinning, right? And then you go down the ladder and it's going to spin jungle again. And then you can actually peek CT while it's spinning. And if you get it perfectly in the slot, that is the added benefit of that smoke. Whereas if you miss it slightly, you don't get that added benefit of the smoke spinning. So then I go to this other lurk smoke that I saw Get Right throw. I don't know how many years ago, probably like 8 years ago. You go above this scaffold again, you go up a little bit above it and a little bit to the right. And this can land in different locations sometimes. As long as it just doesn't land on top of A main, you're good. That's why you want to do it up a little bit and a little bit to the right. The smoke allows you to cross over to Tetris to freely, and you can peek CT if you do a jump like this. You can crouch jump it, and then you can peek the guy on top of CT. Sometimes you can catch a guy stairs clearing if you're like quiet enough. If you sit like right here, it's you know, if he overswings, he'll die. So I rethrow the smoke here, I think. And the other thing you can do with the smoke, maybe you can even, if you throw it deep enough, you might even be able to slip into sandwich. I've never really thought of that. You can, so this corner is called Apex, and then like I call this right here Lego brick. So you can jump up onto Lego brick. This smoke isn't great for it, but if you throw it like maybe a little bit further or a little bit more to the left, you can jump up on the Lego brick and maybe get a 1v1 fight towards a guy ticket or triple, whereas normally he has a teammate with him. Again, good players on both of these lurk smokes are going to be holding for this type of stuff, but I imagine most people are not at my level. So if you throw lurk smokes like this, you'll be able to create site pressure and things like that to get free kills. So it works in like lower elo. It works in higher elo sometimes. I'm saying like this guy might be distracted looking connector, or he might cross the default holding above the smoke towards Tetris. He might have a grenade in his hand, right? And that's when you hear him moving and stuff, that's when you jump up on the box and kill him. When you have like a good feeling that he's not, you know, staring at you and he's doing something else, you try to catch him off guard on a good timing. You can even just throw the lurk smoke and go mid, right? And just pretend that like you're aiming. So this is a smoke I throw sometimes on light buys. I'm sure there's other places to throw it from, but I throw it from up here. I just aim in the center of these two, you know, sandcastle looking things, and it lands mid-sight. And the reason I throw this is because it kind of blocks off CT and it forces the player on site to either swing left side or swing right side. Which if we're doing like some kind of eco low buy, like I just want to maybe kill the site player, get a bomb plant. And I feel like the triple fight is kind of favorable because the CT has to swing out so much. Keep in mind that exact smoke is basically a CT defensive smoke to stop a site push. Sometimes CTs throw that by design so that they can cross back and forth on site. But it also clears up a lot of angles for the pistols, and really the only thing you need to hold for is a guy default swinging on the left and a guy top default looking above the smoke. So right here I was like, you can throw smokes from that little trimming in the center, but I do it from here, so you can aim at the top of the sandcastle, or there's a black dot on the sandcastle. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just a left click throw, it lands jungle. And then right here, there's a big gap of whites, which will be your stairs smoke. Now, I believe it's a middle click jump throw. And for whatever reason, because they change the game so often with the updates, I don't feel like this smoke hits very consistently. This is the middle click jump throw. I just don't feel like it hits very consistently. So I don't throw it on the white. I throw it on the black. I used to throw it on the bottom of the black right here. But this stopped working because of the updates that they do to the game. So now I throw it at the top of the black, which I think is the most consistent way that I've found so far. Maybe a little bit lower off the top, like a little bit more towards the center. And I find that easier to find the detail in the brick rather than the thick white part. Don't know what I'm talking about here, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's just a good stair smoke. You can throw jungle from there also, so jungle stairs from that location. If you're coming out A main, you can molly top stairs here. And if you throw it correctly, it'll land in sandwich. You're just gonna have to eyeball it. There's some dark spots there on the wall. And if you aim like a little bit higher, yeah, I mean, just do your best with trying to replicate that. It's more of a feeling molly, I'm pretty sure. So here I talk about this flashbang towards middle, which I think is displayed in the video. It's a really crucial flashbang. Sometimes it bounces off of the building, which is fine, and then other times it goes above. So it's either the black line or it's like the third one or second one over, these little pegs in the wall. It blinds connector and window, and it's like a really, really good flash as long as you have your timings correct. So it's more of a third to fourth guy kind of spawn. You can do it if you're second guy and you're trying to like lurk B and you have one guy taking mid control or whatever and you want to flash for him, like that's fine. Usually people run in sets of 2, but it's fine. I know a smoke from here, but it's not really relevant for any of that. There is a smoke you can do for top con where you go in the middle of the door, and I believe it is the top of the satellite where you left click jump throw and it lands top con. The other smoke you can do is instead of being in the center of the door, you can kind of get in the corner of the trimming and aim at this little electrical thing. It's just the highest little electrical metal piece off the side of the building, and it lands in jungle, which is nice if you're doing like some kind of A split and you want to, you know, there's an upper jungle, upper window, and you don't want him to be able to fight your team. This makes it so you guys can clear stairs really easy and do the split, or just not die to the jungle player who's been killing everybody on your A pushes. This is a connector resmoke where you get in the corner here, you aim at the top of the satellite. And it's the same thing there on that right side window. You can aim in the corner. They're both connector resmokes on the fly. I mean, it's good to know just to have a good lineup. You know, if you don't have it's better not to throw it on the fly, this connector smoke, because there's gaps that can be created if you throw it too deep. So if you're ever gonna re-smoke it while you're on the run, it's better just to smoke catwalk in that little area I displayed, because if you fuck up the connector smoke, they can come up here on the left and right side and shoot you guys in the back. So this is like the market window smoke most people throw. Again, they changed the game a lot, so like some of them miss. I think this one misses because the wood is still on the window. Like it would have bounced in the window, but the wood is there, right? So sometimes the wood is not broken. So a better way to do it is if you I'll show it. So this is a market door smoke. It's cool to know. You can also there's smokes like this from spawn. This is the meta market window smoke. It's been meta for actually a few years, but nobody knows it in the games. So it's this hard line on the little ledge of the floor, and then there's two wooden beams on the left side wall. You're gonna aim above these windows. You're gonna go across into the center of the two wood pieces and left click jump throw. And this lands in window, and if the wood is still on, it lands deeper in market. Or if the wood's not on. And that way there's no bleed out onto site, so it's like a better smoke. And it's faster. It's faster by like almost 2 seconds, I think. So if there's a guy jail, he actually can't see the smoke being thrown. He'll hear it bounce once it bounces in market. But because it's like a few seconds faster than this one, if the guy is bench, he can see the smoke being thrown midair. So he sees it, and because he can see it so far over apartments, you're actually giving away that you're like trying to take B about 4 seconds sooner, which gives the CTs a lot of info and will allow them to make pushes into A main or pre-rotate into your B take, which could ruin your round. Especially since, you know, a big part of the game is manipulating rotations. So the more information you can deny the CTs, the better. Right here, I'm going to be trying to attempt a arch smoke that I have not done in a very long time. It was a crouch middle click. I don't really think that these smokes are necessary at this level. Or even at my level. I think the only time you need arch smokes, they're cool to know, but like the only time you need arch smokes are if you're actually like competing in something and trying to do like real strategy. I think for a majority of pug matches, premier matches, whatever, you're better off just smoking market window or door. And you know, I encourage people to just take the gunfights on site. I don't remember the lineup, but this is me like trying to remember something from like a few years ago. So I display here, it's like, okay, this is really cool if you can smoke off this guy, right? If you know the smokes, like, yeah, they're good. However, they can just be naded open. And like, let's say the CT guy gets smoked off, he'll just run in front of the smoke, right? And then he'll stand like here, right? So then that's where the advanced strategy comes in, where you do those smokes, you know he's going to be pushed out of position, and then you molly him out, right? So then he's really pushed out of position, or he goes back into the smoke, right? And this is really only for like advanced, like I'm competing for money type shit. Like you honestly don't need to know that to be able to like win games on Mirage. I'm sure it'll help, but it's not necessary. So this is a smoke I throw kind of similar to that one on A site, where you aim up at this wire. There's a little door here on the right. It's a jail door, and you get into the corner of the door and you aim up at the wire and then a little bit down, right? This is how I aim it up. I look at that center pylon thing, and then I just aim a little bit below the wire. Just a little bit below the wire, and it lands on site. So that's the wire, and you go a little bit lower, so it goes deeper. And if it lands like right here, it's kind of nice if you're doing like a B split, because you're helping out your catwalk players with a guy bench. And yes, a CT can hide in this smoke and it can make CTs harder to kill on sight, but if all you're after is the ability to close the gap or get a bomb plant, then I think a smoke like this is fine. I probably wouldn't throw it on a rifle round. So it's more of like a low buy situational smoke. I quite enjoy it. But yeah, the CTs can definitely just like hide in it or around it. Right now I'm saying that there's a lot of tricks you can learn on the site. I'm not going to recite any that I know myself, but there's all types of kind of like tricky smokes, molly, wall bounces, crazy pop flashes. I can't think of one, you know, off the top of my head right now, but I throw this smoke, right? And I'm like, okay, this smoke, it's trash, right? However, if someone comes around on this left side, he might not be expecting like the smoke to look like this, and you can actually see his feet, I think. So he'll be dead. I'm pretty sure if he swings that with just the smoke, like just some random smoke, right? So I was telling people that they should kind of experiment or look up some B-site post plant tricks. I don't remember any, so I'm not gonna like pretend. There's all types of pop flashes, so you can like swing door and stuff. So right here I'm saying when you come out of apps, you can use a molly, right? So you can molly. I actually miss. So you can molly van, right? Obviously, and then if you aim like up here, I miss it. I was pissed. If you aim like a little bit lower above the door, you can molly flat and it bleeds over into van. And then what I actually started doing, which I found is super useful, is instead of doing that, I actually molly back of sight here, and I kind of use like these pipes and tarps and stuff and signs for like what I'm looking at. So you can throw a molly like this in the middle of the blue, and it's not great. Like that doesn't really do anything. It maybe stops a guy. Actually, I think it covers one of the off angles, which I didn't realize when I was throwing. So that's actually quite interesting. It covers one of the off angles. But I use this little pipe above the sight. I aim in the middle, and that is my like door. That's my like door. You can get it into the door actually if you try hard enough. And I was saying like, imagine you can get a molly to land right on this back pillar, which is like one of the hardest angles to clear on the site, right? So I go and I use this center pillar of market and I aim in the right corner, and boom, I mollied off one of the hardest angles to clear on the bomb site, right? So, and like that's a big deal if you're trying to entry, because now that guy's burning and he's out of position, whereas normally he'd be hiding on the wall until the last fucking second when you guys are trying to get the bomb plant or slip into market. Like that, this molly is so useful, and I really think people should throw it if they get the opportunity to. If you're like first guy in, right, you can molly bench also. If you're like first guy in, you molly plat or van, and then like the third guy takes his molly and mollies that back sight. That's huge, bro. That's so huge. So underpass here, there's some markings above the connector. This one on the right side, there's the top one, which is a miss, right? And I was trying to see like, is it this one? But it's the one on the right. So the marking above the connector arch on the lower right side is your deep connector lurk smoke, which allows you to come out towards stairs. Just be careful that there's a guy playing on stairs, and you can also slip into jungle. If you're underpass, you can molly ladder room, which is super helpful, and I was giving credit to Garage OG. I don't remember what the lineup was that he showed in one of his videos. So what I did was I just made one up on the spot. It's this light in the corner. Wait, that one actually hit better than the second one that I throw. So I don't know what I did different, but this light in the corner has like a little attachment on the wall. If you aim at the bottom or the top of the top, and you go into the center of the ladder room, it bounces and it burns majority of the ladder room. And what I was explaining here is that actually he could be on the ladder, but as you'll notice from the first time I threw it, this close piece of the wood was actually mollied off. So I don't know why there was a gap. I must have been looking at the wrong part of the wall, but you can actually molly all of it off. And if you want to go find that exact lineup, I would go to Grash OG's channel. I think he works for like Gamer Legion or some shit. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. And then I just left. I was like, that was all the smokes you needed to know for Mirage and nades.